Hey guys, in this video I'm going to answer a question that a lot of you have been asking me over the past several videos, and that is plasma money or the compensation you receive for donating plasma taxable income? I've had that question myself, and when I would go to plasma centers and ask that question, the person or the phlebotomist would often not have an answer for me or not know how to answer, and then I'd Google it, and some sources would say yes, others would say no, and so it's just been really unclear. And so my point in making this video is to get down to the bottom of this. I'm going to call some plasma centers, see what the different plasma centers say, compare those answers to what accountants say and what Google says. And I do want to have this disclaimer at the beginning. I am not a financial expert or an accountant. I really don't have any credentials for anything tax related, but based on the answers that I get, I just want to pass that information on, and you make decisions on how you want to fill out your taxes according to your knowledge. So I'm really not giving you any advice as far as how you should file your taxes. So let's start by calling my local plasma center. It's BioLife in St. George, Utah. So let's look them up and give them a call.
Thank you for calling BioLife Plasma Services.
Wait while I transfer your call.
Thank you for calling BioLife Plasma Services. We are currently busy tending to other donors.
Okay, well, we'll try them later. Next, we're going to try Grifols Biomat in Provo. This is where I donated plasma all throughout college. Let's see what they say.
Thank you for calling Biomat Provo. Wait while I transfer your call.
Provo Biomat, this is Emily.
Hi, I just had a quick question for you. I was wondering, do you know if plasma donor compensation is taxable income?
Oh, that is a great question. Let me ask one of my coworkers. They might know.
Okay,
I'll be
thank
right
you.
back.
No worries.
Hi, are you still there?
Yeah,
Okay, it is not taxable.
it's not taxable. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Okay, so Grifols Biomat says not taxable. Okay, let's go ahead and call CSL Plasma. I went there a few times because they paid better than Grifols. So let's take a look.
Hello, this is Matt.
Hi, I just have a quick question for you. I was wondering, is the compensation or the donor fees that you get paid when you donate plasma, would that be considered taxable income?
No.
Okay. Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Yep, have a good one.
You
Bye.
too. Bye. 2 for no. There we go. Okay. Grifols, Biomat, and CSL Plasma are the best at answering their phones, and they both said that it is not taxable income. So let's compare that to what Google has to say. Okay, Google. Right off of Funds Net Services is the first result that ranks. It says, yes, donating plasma is taxable. You must pay taxes on income that you earn by donating your plasma. Even if it's called a donation, you're being paid for it, and that compensation counts as income. As with the rest of your income, you must report it on your income tax filings to the IRS and pay tax if applicable. Okay, so that's what Google says. Okay, because plasma donation centers are apparently under the impression that the compensation you receive from plasma donations is not taxable, they don't provide you with a 1099 miscellaneous, which is the document that they should provide you with if the income is taxable. And one way to look at that is because they don't provide you with that document, and you don't fill out that document becoming a new donor, that income that you're receiving is not submitted to the IRS, and because of that, the IRS has nothing to compare that income to and wouldn't necessarily know that you're making that income. but are you still obligated to report that income to the IRS even though you didn't receive a 1099 miscellaneous from the plasma center? So according to this accountant on his website, it says, I didn't receive a Form 1099 miscellaneous, so I don't have to pay taxes. It says companies should send independent contractors 1099 miscellaneous is to assist with filing their tax returns. Well, not all plasma centers will send that out. This lack on their part does not exempt you from paying your taxes. Instead, you'll need to list your plasma donation earnings on line 21 of your Schedule 1 Form 1040, or you can have our accountant blah 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 help you. He also cites some court case. It says the issue of paying taxes on plasma donation compensation has gone to trial before in the landmark case United States versus Garber. While the defendant Dorothy Garber was directly contracted and paid by companies for her plasma due to the rare Rh antibodies in her plasma, I actually talk about this, that you get paid more in certain cases because of your blood type. The fact that she did not pay taxes and was found guilty of tax evasion can set a precedent. With the precedent that plasma donation payments are taxable, you don't want to be found on the wrong side of IRS tax law. So that is pretty good counsel if you want to play it safe that way. And so again, I'm not going to give any sort of advice on how you should pay your taxes. This is an accountant's point of view. I talked to another accountant who said, again, because the 1099 miscellaneous is not being given to the IRS, they would not necessarily have any way of knowing that you should pay your taxes on that. So I really think it's up to your discretion. I mean, according to this accountant, according to Google and the other websites that I've seen, it's supposedly taxable. You can do your own research. I think it's very telling that these plasma centers, which are government regulated to a degree, because they communicate through this central system to determine whether or not you've already donated twice in 1 week, because they want to control that for your own safety. You'd think that these plasma centers who are paying out thousands and thousands of dollars to donors to compensate them for their time and the inconvenience of being hooked up to a machine, you'd think that they would hand out these forms if they had to, and that their employees wouldn't so readily tell me that it's not taxable income. And this accountant goes on to say that depending on how much you earn has implications on how you file your taxes. So at the end of the day, called the plasma centers, they said it's not taxable. And that's consistent with the answers I received when I asked them in person in the past. They said it's not taxable, which was confusing because Google says it is, and this accountant says it is. And so by that logic, you would think, oh, well, maybe the plasma center has a document to provide to me, like some earnings statement, like a 1099 miscellaneous. But when I've gone to plasma centers and actually asked for those, I'm like, well, Google says it is taxable, even though you're saying it's not. Like, do you have these forms for me? And that was just met with a lot of confusion. And so at the end of the day, again, I'm not providing any sort of tax advice. I'm not suggesting that you do pay taxes, that you don't pay taxes. I'm not the accountant. I'm not the IRS. But what you have to consider is these plasma companies, which are clearly government regulated to some degree, are not providing a 1099 miscellaneous pretty consistently. What I would really be interested to know, if any of you do get a 1099 miscellaneous from donating plasma, please, please, please comment and let me know, because that would be mind-blowing to me. That would be really interesting information to have. And it seems to me like you shouldn't be liable for the negligence of the plasma company if you don't pay taxes because you weren't aware. And so this video is to give you awareness, but also the IRS really doesn't know to come after you or audit you for income that isn't being reported to them in the first place by the plasma centers. So do with that what you will. Again, I'm not saying this is what I do. I'm not saying this is what you should do. But it's good food for thought, especially as it's April. You need to be filing your taxes if you haven't already. You're coming up to the due date here. But I hope this was a good video for you. I hope that you got something out of this, and hopefully I didn't just add to your confusion. I wish I could give you a more specific answer, but this is really kind of a confusing situation. And I mean, at the end of the day, there has been a lawsuit, and the person that didn't file their taxes or I guess committed tax evasion for not paying taxes on their plasma income did lose that case. So again, if you, as this accountant says, if you don't want to be found on the wrong side of the IRS tax law, the safe thing to do is to pay taxes on that. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you taking the time. I'm going to have more videos like this about plasma and side hustles in general, making some extra income on the side, and we'll see you in the next one.